I've been watching movies since I was a kid. But I hate it when things end happily ever after. Me, I like the bad guys. Only they see the truth about people. About good and evil. About sin and redemption. I understand the pain they feel. And I feel the same urge to make things right. So that's why I go down to my basement. I always wanted to be a real-life villain. And that's exactly what I am.
We received a phone call that a nude female body was found along the roadside of Highway 67 near Alton, Illinois. There were small linear markings around the sides of the neck and in the front of the neck, which shows strangulation.
Teresa Wilson had a child. She was addicted to drugs, had tried on several occasions to beat it, but was not able to.
But this murder is not just a drug deal gone bad. When police find a victim naked by the roadside that's been strangled, it definitely gives some idea of what sort of person they're looking for. You know, this is a sadistic killer who actually wanted this body to be found.
Teresa was known to work in an area next to the huge trucking industry. And we went down to that area and started talking to some of the prostitutes who would tell us that a lot of their clients were truckers from that particular area.
They certainly are one of the people that they're going to be looking for. Folks that can move in and out of an area relatively unnoticed. People don't really look at truck drivers and say, oh, that's unusual that a truck driver is in this area, and that now they're gone and we don't see them again.
So we started looking at truck drivers, somebody that is familiar with the abandoned areas, rural areas where there were no businesses.
A movie is only as good as its actresses. And every villain needs his damsel in distress. Well, you won't find too many damsels in the north side of St. Louis. But there are plenty of girls that need to be taught a lesson. How you doing tonight, babe?
Good.
Come on in.
Okay.
All I got to do is promise them a little money. And I've got myself a star.
James
had a history of drug abuse and prostitution. Even though she was on the street, she had children. There were some ligature marks on the neck. Also, there was a lot of sticky residue on the arms, wrists, and across the mouth and on the face. When you see that, you suspect she's been bound and gagged.
If you torture someone, you have to get up as close as you possibly can and put your hands on them. Meaning that the killer wants the victims to know that they are the ones that have total control over them up to the point of life and death.
I mean, it was sadistically evil. It's amazing how the camera brings out the truth in people. The lens doesn't lie. It separates good from evil. Pick your head up. Lift your face. Heroes. Lift it. And villains.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Some of the girls I've brought home, I've seen good in them. I let them walk out of here. But others, leaving isn't an option. They would go out and send some more. That wouldn't be right. And similarities ran pretty consistent. Nude black females, they've been strangled, obviously bound and assaulted in some fashion, and had a history of prostitution.
So it really just becomes blatantly apparent that we're dealing with a serial killer. The fact that the bodies were spread all over the metropolitan area clearly indicated that this person knows this area extremely well.
So we figured this guy had to be local, obviously, but where and who was it? In the movies, when the lights come up, the fun dies out. But in real life, it never stops. I'm always piecing together new seeds in my mind. Dark and twisted fantasies. And the best thing is that no one even knows what I'm capable of.
Hey. Hi. Do you have a second?
Because to everyone who knows me, I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah.
I was having trouble with my sink, and I was wondering if you could help.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, thank you so much. Don't worry.
Okay.
There was DNA found on a couple of the girls. So now we're looking for somebody to match it. We are looking at men who were sex offenders, men who had been arrested previously for rape. We are searching every avenue that we possibly can because we still can't come up with a conclusive suspect in these homicides. All of a sudden, the bodies stopped turning up.
January 2002 rolled around and still no bodies.
We are absolutely dumbfounded.
I've had my fair share of hurdles to get over in life.
Please sign here.
This was just a bump in the road. Being inside just gave me more time to think about this movie I'm living.
One wallet.
And what happens next.
Keys.
But now I know.
Money.
And it's the perfect move for the perfect killer.
One belt.
We were still trying to find any little lead that would lead us to this individual. We still had no idea who he really was.
I knew Teresa Wilson by kind of grainy pictures in the newspaper, and to me there's kind of a sadness to this. So the article on Teresa Wilson was for me to see if I can put any kind of face on these women who were being killed.
In movies, the killer always leaves his mark. That's how people know how dangerous he is. I've been dumping bodies on the streets for months, but no one even blinked. Maybe they couldn't tell the difference between them and the rest of the garbage covering every inch of this town. So I'm going to hold their hand, help them out. And even though they'll never admit how right I am, everyone needs to know about the great work I'm doing.
What can I do for you today?
Well, I received this letter in the mail. It started out nice sob story on Teresa Wilson, and then it went on to try to convince me that this person was the killer.
It was a generic-looking Expedia, MapQuest type long view of an area in West Alton with a pinpoint, and the letter alluded to this is where we were going to find another body.
At that point in the investigation, we had at least 7 or 8 victims that we attributed to this killer. And the letter claims, go to the X on the map, find number 17.
You know, I've seen this on crime shows before. The idea that somebody who had done these heinous kinds of things would read a story and try to reach out and communicate with you, it doesn't happen.
Your first reaction, you got somebody making some claims and cause people to go out on a wild goose chase, but you still take a look at it.
The X mark on the map clearly showed that it was right off Highway 67 on the west-north corner. After about a half an hour of covering that area.
Detective!
Yeah.
Come take a look at this.
There was a clearing. And right in the middle was a sun-bleached skull.
The fact that the killer sent the letter to the news media is very telling. He definitely wanted people to sit up and take notice that he was a serial killer, that he was a force to be reckoned with, and that he had a story to tell.
He was playing games with us at this point, and he's going to continue until he is stopped. It was a generic-looking Expedia, MapQuest type long view of an area in West Alton with a pinpoint.
We served a subpoena asking for any information regarding somebody searching for that particular area on all those websites that offer electronic maps.
And actually what it produced was one person and one person only had looked at that particular area of West Alton.
Which led us to Maury Travis.
Normally, at the end of a movie, the villain ends up getting caught. Well, I've killed 17 girls and no one has found me yet. So why stop now? What I'm planning next is bigger and better than before. That means a bigger set and more actresses. Because filming one girl at a time isn't a challenge anymore. And two, well, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Showing a series of photos of some of the victims.
Mr. Travis, we'd like you to look at some pictures.
And he was asked if he knew any of these women. And he didn't. He said he didn't know any of the women.
Nope.
And then within a few minutes, he said, hey, can I see those pictures of those dead women again?
Mr. Travis, no one mentioned that these were dead girls. Did you know they're dead?
You know, he realized he was making mistakes.
So how'd you guys find me out?
They mentioned, well, your computer led us here.
And Maury Travis looked at one of the investigators and said, that computer me.
Stand up, turn around, put your hands behind your head.
immaculate. I mean, it was very clean. But when they went down to the basement, it was like being in two different houses. There was blood-soaked carpeting. There was blood splatters on the wall, the ceiling. There was handcuffs, some leg irons, diagrams that he was going to have some construction done to make two holding cells. It was a torture chamber. We took out of that basement a shopping cart full of VHS tapes.
Probably on the second day of viewing these tapes, we came across the wedding tape. It was just a taping of a family-type wedding, and the tape then cut at some point, and now we're looking at a nude woman in a basement with Maury Travis.
Travis, as a female, she's naked and she's handcuffed behind her back. I've seen a lot of nasty stuff in my 38 years in the St. Louis Police Department, but this tape took it to the next level.
He goes off camera and he comes back and he has a belt in his hand.
He finally chokes her until he kills her.
There was silence. I can't even describe how I felt at that time. It was unbelief that I'm looking at somebody dying, somebody being murdered. When he was finished murdering that woman, he looked into the camera and he said,
"This is first kill. First kill's nice."
At this point, it's pretty obvious to us. We got the right guy. He's going to be charged with multiple murders.
June 10th, 2002. Dear Mom, I think about the life I led and what's ahead of me. There seems to be only one way out of this situation. Because I won't let the cops give me the death sentence. So this letter is proof that they didn't kill me.
It was a disappointment. It really was. We got the guy, and then suddenly he was dead.
No.
It's difficult to say why Maury Travis wanted to kill people.
Just let me go.
I think that perhaps Maury Travis experienced pleasure out of killing these people.
Please don't hurt.
And that really comes across in the videotapes.
No.
Perhaps he wanted to relive those incidents time and time again and fantasize what he was going to do the next time.
we haven't identified a lot of the girls in the tapes. Where are the other ones?
Tell me of your master.
I truly believe that there are bodies still out there undiscovered.
I'm sorry.